Morning. It's Tuesday, November 5th, and on Sunday, Israel announced that it had killed the key Hamas commander, the one who was responsible for the October 7th attack that left 1,200 Israelis dead, and many others were abducted. Now, Israel has vowed to free the 137 hostages still being held by Hamas, and it intends to eliminate the militant group around the world, even if it takes years and years. And I can assure you it will take years and years. And new airstrikes are hitting Gaza, with Israel calling it a fighting zone and telling residents to evacuate immediately. And the UN has estimated that there are 1.8 million people in Gaza. 80% of the population are internally displaced, having already had to leave their home. But Israel is determined to destroy Hamas, to get rid of that evil presence and to get those hostages back. And I am sure that there will be many in the world who will continue to complain about the mistreatment of the Palestinians. Well, I don't believe that the Palestinians were mistreated. I believe that they brought everything that Israel has given them. They earned it with their stupidity and their obstinacy, no second state, destroying everything that Israel left behind in 2007. So whatever happens to the people of Gaza, I feel sorry for those people, but it was their own ignorance and their own choice of hanging with Hamas and allowing them to be their government, allowing them to build miles of tunnels. So I don't feel sorry for the people of Hamas. And I don't feel sorry for the Palestinian people either. And so you may call me mean and evil, but that's the way I feel about it. Now that I got that off my chest, let me give you some good news. President Biden is preparing a package of healthcare measures that he would aim to pass in a second term. He will be making these announcements this week, and these announcements are going to center on cutting prescription drug prices. Joe's agenda includes expanding provision for cutting the prices of insulin and other drugs that were enacted for Medicare enrollees last year as part of the Inflation Reduction Act. And he plans to further strengthen the Affordable Care Act by making permanent the enhanced federal premium subsidies that have helped about 10 million people afford coverage on the Obamacare exchanges. And these measures are in strong contrast to those of former President Trump, who has promised to repeal and replace Obamacare entirely. And I am sure that Donald Trump, the wizard that he is, will screw that up permanently if he gets reelected. We all know that the United States has the most expensive medical care in the world. I don't think that any of us can tell the rest of us why our medical expenses are so much higher than everybody else's. Drug companies which charge us X turn out to be charging half that price in many other countries. How can that be? How can it be that we, this great nation, has mishandled the medical care costs for the people in this country? Why is that the case here? So Biden and his associates see the potential in transforming healthcare coverage and the cost for millions of Americans as a great issue in the campaign for re-election. And the president is boldly standing at this forward-looking argument because it is an issue that has always delivered positive results for Democrats in election cycles. As much help as he can possibly get, because he's trailing badly in the polls, you know. And there are 10 states that do not participate in Obamacare coverage. And Biden intends to somehow or other get those 10 remaining states that haven't expanded Medicaid to expand it. North Carolina made the move just recently, but that still leaves a bunch of other states that haven't made the move. And those are mostly deep red states, but they also include Wisconsin and Georgia also. So Biden has his work cut out with getting those states to move in the direction of covering their population. And if he can make these states move, we're talking about improving medical care for 3.5 million more people. Now, ex-President Trump and the Florida Governor Ron DeSantis don't believe in this methodology. They're totally against it. And Trump has said that Obamacare will never be any good. And DeSantis says they can come up with a better plan, a much better plan than the Affordable Care Act. But we know from experience that that's not going to happen. And you can't believe that they're going to do anything better than what we have right now. So believing that healthcare will boost his appeal to seniors and younger voters, Biden is standing by this new representation about the medical care in this country. While this might make a big difference to the older generation, I don't think it's really going to affect the young people that much. I don't think young people necessarily worry about medical care the way the elderly do. And there's no question in my mind that drug cost reduction is a major issue. And if Biden and his team can fight that, if they can win drug cost reduction by doing these things, then they will be doing a great service to the people in this country. Because drug costs are out of sight compared to the rest of the world. And we, the older people, and those with medical infirmaries, and those with medical problems who require constant drug refills, would be greatly helped if they could be relieved of some of that cost burden. We know that the cost of insulin is crazy, and it has been reduced in some way, shape, or form. But there are many other drugs that are out of sight also. And if you don't have a good drug prescription plan, you are in deep trouble. So kudos.